Mark had found it, or so he thought. A 3-bedroom craftsman house, nestled deep within a subdivision called Maple Creek. The price had been an absolute steal, almost suspiciously low for a property of its size and charm. He'd signed the papers without a second thought, eager to escape the city's relentless hum. Maple Creek was a haven of quiet seclusion. Its streets were always impeccably clean, lined with impossibly green lawns that seemed to hum with an unnatural vibrancy. The neighbors, too, were remarkably friendly, always quick with a wave or a warm smile. It felt like a perfect, pristine world. On his very first day, as Mark was still unpacking boxes, the HOA president arrived. Carol, her name was. She had a bright, hard smile, like something meticulously crafted from porcelain. Her eyes, though, held a peculiar, unblinking intensity that made Mark subtly uneasy. She presented him with a welcome basket, overflowing with local treats and a small, laminated paper. "Welcome to Maple Creek, Mark," she chirped, her voice a little too sweet. "We're so glad to have you. We have only one rule here." Mark chuckled, expecting some mundane bylaw about trash cans or lawn maintenance. Carol's smile didn't waver. She gestured to the laminated card. "It's all there, in plain language. Our singular rule." He took the card. The words were stark, printed in a bold, unsettling font. "If you see a pet that appears lost or in distress, do not approach it. Do not feed it. Do not let it into your home. Go inside, lock your doors, and ignore it until it has gone." Mark blinked, then looked up at Carol, a laugh catching in his throat. "Is this some kind of joke?" he asked, trying to lighten the strange atmosphere. "A test of neighborly obedience?" Carol's smile tightened, losing some of its porcelain perfection. "It is not a suggestion, Mark," she said, her voice dropping to a low, firm tone. "This rule is for your safety, for our harmony. It is paramount." A sudden, inexplicable chill snaked up Mark's spine, despite the warm afternoon air. He clutched the laminated card, its edges sharp against his palm. He nodded, a vague unease settling deep within him. For the next month, the rule faded from his mind. He saw other residents walking their dogs, heard the occasional meow from a neighborhood cat. Everything seemed perfectly normal, perfectly safe. The laminated card lay forgotten on his kitchen counter, a strange relic of a peculiar first impression. Then came the storm. It was a gully washer, a midnight deluge that hammered against the windows and rattled the very foundations of the house. Thunder cracked like a giant's whip, shaking the air. Mark lay awake, listening to the tempest rage. Through the din, a sound cut through the storm's fury. A pathetic, high-pitched whine, barely audible above the wind and rain. It was a sound of pure, unadulterated misery. Mark sat up, his heart quickening. He crept to the front door, peering through the rain-streaked glass. Huddled under the meager shelter of his porch eave was a dog, a golden retriever, shivering violently, its fur plastered to its body, soaked to the bone. Its eyes, even in the dim light, were huge and sad, reflecting the terror of the storm. It wore a simple leather collar, but no tags dangled from it. With every fresh crack of thunder, the dog whimpered, pressing itself closer to the door as if seeking refuge. Mark's gaze fell upon the laminated card, still lying on his counter, illuminated by the faint glow from the kitchen. The words seemed to leap out at him, stark and unforgiving. "Do not approach it. Do not feed it. Do not let it into your home." He hesitated, a battle raging within him. The rule felt absurd, cruel even, in the face of such obvious distress. This was just a scared, lost animal, caught in a terrifying storm. How could he possibly ignore it? He rationalized, his mind racing. It was just a dog, a harmless creature. The rule was stupid, arbitrary, a relic of some overzealous HOA. What harm could come from a little kindness? His empathy for the shivering creature outweighed the strange, unsettling memory of Carol's porcelain smile. With a deep breath, Mark reached for the doorknob. He twisted it, pulling the heavy door inward. The dog didn't hesitate. It scrambled inside, shaking off water, then nudged its wet head into his hand, a silent plea for comfort. Mark knelt, stroking its matted fur. The dog leaned into his touch, its body trembling less now. He found an old towel, drying the dog as best he could, then poured a bowl of water. The retriever drank deeply, then curled up contentedly on the rug in the living room, its sad eyes finally closing. Mark must have drifted off on the couch, lulled by the rhythmic breathing of the dog and the fading echoes of the storm. He was jolted awake by 3 slow, deliberate knocks at his front door. The rain had stopped. An unnatural silence had fallen over Maple Creek. The golden retriever, which had been sleeping soundly, suddenly growled. It was a low, guttural sound, unlike anything Mark had heard from it before. The dog trotted to the door, its hackles raised, a silent warning. Mark's heart hammered against his ribs. He peered through the peephole. Standing on his porch was a tall man, dressed in an old-fashioned suit, dark and impeccably tailored. The man's face was obscured by shadow, but as he shifted, a wide, unsettling smile became visible, a smile that showed far too many teeth. The man's voice was smooth, almost silken, yet it carried an unnerving resonance. "Excuse me," he said, his voice barely a whisper. "I believe you found my dog." He gestured vaguely towards the retriever, which was now pressing itself against Mark's leg, a low whimper escaping its throat. Mark felt a cold dread seep into his bones. He didn't know what to say. The man's smile widened, revealing even more teeth. "You see," he continued, his voice a chilling purr, "my dog has a very important job. Its purpose is to find the kindest person in the neighborhood.